All right, how's it going, everybody? Going to do a video. November or no, December 2nd. Store's been closed for 2 days. Normally we are off Mondays and Tuesdays. Today's Tuesday, so nothing's really kind of hit yet. With us being closed and the reality of our location being shut down. I'm gonna go over some numbers real quick for last month. So last month we ended up at 111,000. We had 2,242 sales. Average sale was $50, and out of that, there was like 5,261 clothes that left the building, and a total of 18,552 items total. Our margin was 45%, even though the last couple weeks we've been stepping down everything. I mean, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we were selling everything at 50% off. Our price, which basically equivalent to 25% of retail and lower. So pretty much like liquidation prices my customers were getting. Some of the stuff that they were getting was even cheaper. I think there was a few items that we took a really big bloodbath on, but that's fine. So we got everything gone, or not everything. I'm going to show you that in a second. So that's where we ended up at. Saturday we actually didn't get a lot of sales. We lost Saturday because of the snow. Sunday it was kind of snowing, but everybody kind of showed up. There was a lot of people saying their goodbyes and everything. Our regulars, we had a lot of customers on Sunday. Now, not a lot compared to like some of the days after we announced, but it was good to see a lot of people coming and saying their goodbyes and making that final purchase. So yeah, eBay last month, 18,400. Out of that was gross. Out of that, net before cost of the goods, it was 10.5. Now keep in mind, again, we do free shipping on everything. So 635 transactions, or actually items, and then our average for eBay was 28.98. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a lowdown. I did have my warehouse person here yesterday doing a little bit of cleaning up. We're not gonna really get into it yet, but as you can see, this is where all the clothes were. So what I had her do was consolidate all of our watermelons by size. And then this kind of gives us an idea of what we have. I don't think she did a count. I think what she was just doing was consolidating. So right here, she took down the clothing rack, put that in the watermelons. This aisle right here used to be a full aisle of watermelons there. So that's gone. Two left here. And this row right here, so this is everything. This is gonna be what we have left over to sell. But I think we might want to we're gonna probably do a whatnot show, I think, and just try to get all this stuff gone. And then what's nice is we can do it by size. Maybe I can set up my whatnot station right there. What's really cool about having 30,000 square feet is when it's empty, you can really set up a really nice setup, for whatnots or whatever you want to do. So kind of looking forward to that, even though it kind of sucks that we can't remain in this location. Because man, my original idea was to take this location and actually just make it all e-commerce and auctions, and then just have customers pick it up, and then just have stations everywhere where people can have their channels, and then maybe even rent out the stations. But we kind of couldn't go that route because we were already kind of in too deep with all of our inventory. So but that would have been a really cool thing to do, is kind of like those warehouse places where you can rent out like a small space for your e-commerce. I was actually thinking about doing something where make everybody a station, give everybody the Wi-Fi included and the electricity included, and just charge them like a flat rate, and they can just have their own channel, have their own little storage area. I mean, obviously, how many sellers can you get in here at the same time? I'm not sure. Our phone's ringing. I did shut off the Google, put us on permanent close. So I'm not sure what that's about. I know that we do get a lot of spam calls in there, but I am not going to answer it. So yeah. So here's kids' clothes here. And again, these can be shipping easy, and our idea would be to take these and put them in bundles, 2 packages, and sell them on eBay. Here's all of our bathing suits. Here's some shoes, and then the Missy tops, those women's flannels. So yeah, I thought there was gonna be a lot more clothes, but again, I think at the total we had like 50, 55 watermelons laid out with all different sizes. Looks like she did do some stuff with the kids over here. So again, what we can do is just set our show. Maybe we'll just do like $2 starts or $3 starts. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it out, because what I don't want to do, I mean, we could try it one time and just see, but I don't want it to do is get into this whole whatnot thing and start losing again. Um, on our clothing, because when we did do it last time, we sold for 6 months, and basically all we were getting was resellers. We were doing dollar starts, and I thought it was going to pick up at some point, but it didn't. And basically we gave a lot of, I mean, it was a lot of targets, so it wasn't, we didn't pay a lot for that inventory. That was like a huge buy that we did 2 years ago. I think it was like a 27,000 piece load, and I think we were in at I want to say like 72 cents an item, somewhere around there, shipped. So that was when the days were good, guys. Those days are no longer. I don't see clothes that cheap. So here's that shelving that we took down. This is all on wheels, so this one's going to be nice, this gondola, and then this one's stationary. So what we're going to do with these is, I don't know if we're going to bring them down. We're going to probably lift them up and get them on some pallets, and then see if we can just load them into the truck and then unload them, so we don't have to do all that breaking down. I mean, obviously, we did move one that was three 4-foot sections, and we were able to move that one on a pallet. But this one over here, it's 5 sections. So that one's going to be interesting. I think the rest of these are on wheels. Yeah, most of these are on wheels. I think we only had a few that weren't for that. So yeah, that's all coming with us. I was talking about taking our new location. Oh, here's all the empty watermelons. She lined them all up right there. So yeah, I was talking about taking the next location and putting all the gondolas up, all the shelving up, and just seeing how much it fills with aisles that make sense. Some of the aisles are going to have to be 4 feet to get pallets by. I think I'm just going to do one aisle in my shelving area that is 4 feet, and then what we can do is put the ones on wheels on another spot, like towards the side, towards the middle, because then if we ever have to get a forklift going, we can always just push it aside. So we're gonna make this next location maneuverable, and it's gonna be where it's expandable. And then I think what I'm gonna do is, once I fill everything up, then I can determine how many truckloads I'm gonna have in there, and we'll kind of go from there. So it's gonna be a different situation with the way I set up. I'm going to do it a little bit more geared towards auction shelving. Is going to be a lot of that, and there's going to be a lot of for the eBay, and it's just going to kind of grow into it. So I know there's going to be a lot of empty shelves over there that we're going to just grow into for that. So I'll give you a rundown here. So these were all the heaters. There's only a few left. Air conditioners, those are 220 volts. Those are not for our market, so that's going to be a tricky one. And then we do have some fixtures left over that I'm not going to take. I know that this cash wrap, this came from Staples. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this too. I think this might have to go to a scrapper. We may keep one of them for warehouse sales, but I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. I'm gonna try to figure this out, because those things take up a lot of footprint, and I'm not really interested in taking up a lot of footprint on something like that. It's gonna be dead space. So yeah, so there's two box springs there. There's some patio covers. I do have some shoes left. And then I think I'm going to come over here. Just going to give you guys a rundown of what's left, because there's not that much left here. It kind of looks like a lot just because everything's spaced out. Now these tables, I don't know what I'm going to do with these tables, because I'm not gonna bring these with. So those, what we might have to saw is all those down or give it to a scrapper. So over here, we didn't sell a lot of sunglasses. I thought we were going to sell more, but we didn't. So bring it over here. So there's a bunch there, probably about 30 pairs. So those didn't sell. Little bit of nail polish left just in yellow. Lights didn't sell. So those could probably be lotted up on eBay. Maybe, I'm not sure. Because because actually we, for the last 2 months, we've been rocking on, or 2.5 months, we've been rocking on just inventory. We haven't, the only thing we really brought in was the mystery boxes, and the mystery boxes actually did not sell out. So I'm kind of frustrated on that because I was hoping that that would give us an extra cash boost. I want to say that was there six, there's like 8, 9 pallets left, 32 a piece. So we'll see what happens with that. I did get some messages from people that want to buy some more boxes, and we're probably going to let them come in tomorrow to pick those up while we're here. So I got tons of pallets everywhere, guys. The pallets are going to have to get removed pretty soon because what I'm trying to do is get everything removed that I know that I'm not going to want to come with us. And pallets are not going to come with us. So I got scrap items. So this is all my whole scrap pile right here. So what I'll do is I'll call somebody up on Facebook and have them come over and pick up the scrap. There is going to be probably a donation to Habitat, but at first what I wanted to try to do is see, once everything's kind of been combined, what did that actually make with a truckload, and then see if I can sell that. But honestly, guys, I don't think there's 20 pallets of stuff that's left over. I want to say that there's, if I'm lucky, there's going to be like 10. So yeah, we got this area back here. That's my ice melt for my house. These are all clothes right here. Behind me. And then there's going to be just a bunch of shoes over here. And we actually forgot to put out the single items, but what we didn't want to do is confuse our customers with the clothing sale. So that'll probably just have to go to Whatnot for that. So yeah, we're going to probably set up our show in the next day or two for like a week out, and then just see what happens. We can always just, because you know what that does too is that makes it so I don't have to worry about trying to get this stuff to a liquidator, because the problem is all the sizes are kind of combined, and when we split it up, if it's going to be a little tricky to explain what's going on, you know, besides if I say, hey, this is my leftovers from when my store closed. What I don't want to do is get all the people coming saying they'll give me $1 a piece or 50 cents a piece, because that's what some liquidators do. They think that they can just take advantage of somebody's shortfall in life, and you know, undervalue what they got. Because I mean, these are Sam's clothing, and I feel like you know, I should be getting at least $2 a piece because that is under cost. I want to say that we're in the clothing at like 280 when we were getting our Sam's. And you know, a lot of people would say that's too much, and I would say, hey, my loads weren't being picked over, even though that there was stuff in there that was kind of damaged and not sellable. But a lot of times, you know, when people pick over stuff, you may think that you're getting some good stuff, but in my experience, you know, club loads, you want those to come direct, and there's nothing more direct than us pulling up with our truck and picking it up. So that's what we did. All right, so yeah, this area is back here is a mess, and then I think what we're gonna do tomorrow, we are gonna make a game plan on all the stuff that we're gonna be bringing with us. See more pallets back here. That corner's full of stuff. What I was thinking about doing with that rolly cart right there, putting all of our office supplies in it, so I have everything in one spot. And then when we, oh, sorry about that. And then when we get to the new location, we can just literally just oh, having a little snafu with my gimbal, guys, sorry. Yeah, this thing's kind of, I did bump it, but still shouldn't be acting a fool like that. Yeah, I was thinking about doing the office supplies, and then that way we can kind of gather up what we got. What we got to do is, there's a lot of areas over here, like closets and stuff that need to be, there's like one closet up front and another one with all my vintage. I do have another closet, the electrical room. It's just filled with toilet seat, or no, toilet tank covers. And I think there's probably like 60 or 70 in there. And those things are like 40, 50, 60 bucks a pop. So we're going to bring those with, and then those are just going to be slow movers. And going forward, I think we're going to try to focus on high quantity stuff for eBay. If I can't list something that has multiple quantities on it, I'm going to try not to buy stuff like that. And I think what we're going to do is just kind of do that, and then try to get our volume going. Last month's volume was pretty high. since what I've seen, but we still need to be at least double that. I would say we need to be pushing out double our eBay numbers, I think, and then that would be one revenue stream that's going to be, pretty much half of what we need to come up with every month. And that's the struggle that I'm having right now, is to see, I'm trying to work this out on paper. I'm trying to work this out in my mind. What's going to get me to the 40, 50,000 a month. I know that when I left at my other warehouse, I was at like 60. So, but again, we're not going to be selling individual to the public. If you think about, let's say I do truckloads, I pull them in and I sell by the pallet. My margin needs to be very low, because my customers need to be the one making the money to support their venture. And then basically it's going to be a volume game. So that's to me what I'm thinking. My next step is, once I get into the pallet sales, I have to make sure that my margin is low, and the volume's high, and then the people that are buying from me are getting taken care of. And that's the right way to be a broker. So obviously, you might have these special buys in that you're going to get a super crazy margin on it. Maybe you can bump it up a little bit higher and just, say, hey, we have to be, at a percentage this time instead of just a flat rate, just because it's manifested. And here's the value. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking, is there's going to be two types of loads that we're going to sell. We're also going to do candy by the case pack, and then we're going to do it by the pallet. And then I think that's going to be a good thing, where customers can just place their order every week. I go pick it up, and then they can come pick it up the next week for me. So, or I can even deliver it with my box truck. So yeah, so this is what's left for the home improvement stuff. Tons of these stands left. I think I don't want to be individually selling, but I kind of feel like this is the time that these things move. So I'm not sure about that. There's undermount sinks, there's vessel sinks, a couple tops are left for vanities. I do have a lot of drop-in sinks. This right here, all these hangers, I have 6 of these watermelons filled. Those are going to be in bundles on eBay. So that's going to be another, thing that we're going to make some money on. And I think that's about it, guys. I think that, our next step is just to make a game plan. This corner right here is still all jacked up and messy. So we got to go through that. And, I just basically, like I said, I go through every part of the building and write down what's what. And then, see, because just by looking, I don't know how this, I'm not going to be able to put a truckload together. I think a lot of stuff's just going to have to be donated. Not too sure. So maybe I'll take one crack at it and just do pallet pricing on Marketplace and just see if that gets any sales. Because, selling a bunch of inventory at once at a cheap price, that may be what I need to do. So instead of trying to do truckloads, and which I know I don't have the inventory for, but yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. We're going to give you guys some more updates as we get them. We still haven't got the location picked out yet. And it's, like I say, it's the 2nd of December. Supposedly the 8th of December is when the building closes, and the off the market location that we're supposedly going to be getting into will be not available, but like in the new owner's hands. He's going to do like a pressure wash in the whole place, because it was a machine shop. So he's going to pressure wash everything. He's going to throw some LED lights in everywhere, and then obviously do his maintenance that he needs to do to get the area ready. I do know that the space, it doesn't have a direct bathroom like attached to the actual room. It's upstairs. So there's an office two offices upstairs that we're going to be taking. And then I think what he's going to do is he's going to make some more secure things to the building, so we have a little bit of security. But I am also going to put up my cameras everywhere, and kind of do what I got to do. I got to figure out the sign. We also got to figure out how to get this sign down on this building. So it's, there's snow on the ground, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. I did tell my landlord that it might be even in January, because we do need to get a day where the forklift can get out and drive around, and not get stuck and slippery and slide around. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this cage and put it on the forklift we're going to lift it up because I do have like a 2-stage, so it goes up pretty high. It does go up high enough for the sign. We're going to rest the sign on this cage, and it is pretty sturdy. And I know that it's all metal. I know that it's got the cross beams. I know that the people that when they put it up, they did it on a bucket truck. They did the same thing. So we're gonna rest the sign on that crate. My buddy's going to be up there, and we're going to basically unbolt it. Well, obviously we're going to unhook it and hit the power and all that, but we're going to unbolt it, and then we're going to kind of lift it up, and then once it's fully unbolted, we're going to drop it down. And I think that the sign itself is in 2 pieces. So what's going to happen is each, the one side is going to have to be taken down, then we're going to have to go back up and take down the other side. I'm going to probably try to sell that discount sign because I feel like discount is relevant. Anybody can get it. It does have like GI Joe font on it, so it's pretty cool. And it's a really big sign actually. The other part of the sign, we're gonna probably just keep it and see what we can do with putting it up in maybe one of the new space or something like that inside. Just kind of give me my, I mean, I paid a lot of money for that sign. I think that sign was like $14,000 or $15,000 installed. So, which some people would say maybe you could have got it cheaper, but yeah, I probably could have, but the way that things were going at that time, we needed to get the sign up, and we couldn't. I did try to call like Fast Signs, and they basically couldn't guarantee me a date to get it installed. They basically outsourced it. So what they did was they charged me corporate pricing for a sign. Then to get it set up, I basically had to go third party based on the people that they schedule. And the people were so incompetent. I was just like, you know what? There's no way I'm putting my business in your hands, trusting when my sign is going to be put up. So I paid a little bit more to a guy that I don't know if I paid a little bit more, but that's what I paid to this one guy because he was able to give me a professional answer when I said, "Give me a timeline when my sign can be up." So, which I don't understand when you're called Fast Signs and you advertise yourself as having, commercial signs, why you can't have it together where you can't tell a business, you know, how long out is your install, because were just they basically were just outsourcing everything and taking their cut. And there's no way that I give my money to people that offer a service and they don't want to, be a company that basically will say, hey, this is the time that it's going to be installed. This is how much this is going to cost. This is how much this is going to cost. When you got a lot of gray areas, guys, walk away because basically those people they're being chumps. They think, they're really complacent in their job. They're franchisees. So a lot of times these older people and franchisees, they just think that they control everything, and that's not how business works. Business works in a way where you got to be professional, and for being professional means set a date for somebody and get it all squared away. If you don't have the answer, that's fine. Say, hey, I'll get back to you today with a confirmation when that will happen. And that's all I was looking for, and they couldn't do it. So yeah, that was that debacle when we got that sign up. So yeah, so like, subscribe, comment. More stuff coming. This is going to be an intense move, guys. I feel it's not going to be that bad. I mean, it looks like there's a lot here, but honestly, a couple days of just busting and moving, I think the biggest thing for me is when I get these pallets all organized. I think that's going to take a little bit of time, but yeah, just busting and moving, and get into the new place, get it going. And then that's pretty much what I'm hoping. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.